Today we're gonna do an interior walkthrough of this 1990 Cadillac Coupe DeVille with just under 95,000 miles at this point. There's a tear right here on the weather stripping that goes around the door. It's in good shape all around with the exception of this area starting at my finger down to about right here. It is ripped and should be replaced. This is an Arizona vehicle. There's no rust on it at all. Small tear right there and a cut right there. Okay, so we do have a carpeted dash cover on here right now, but there is not a single crack in the dash. And then there's another piece here, but the dash has no cracks at all. Looking at the steering wheel, you do have cracking right there in the leather paint, if you will. Same with right here. This is a steering wheel cover that I put on here. However, underneath the steering wheel is pretty, not ripped up, but it's definitely peeling and flaking, so that would need to be reupholstered if you wanted to, or you could just leave it like this and maybe touch up these areas right here. Car does have a driver's side airbag. Now we will go ahead and start the car real quick just to test some of the power functions. Okay, so power windows, they do work. I usually only roll them down to about right here because sometimes this window doesn't want to come back up and you have to pull it back up. At some point someone locked their keys in and there's a little bit of somebody tried to either break in or someone had locked their keys in, and it looks like they tried to jimmy their way in and ended up damaging the glass a little bit here. Hardly noticeable, but it is there, and then you see the window does come up. Same thing with this window. It goes down. I usually stop it right around here. Many times it will come back up. It's a little bit slow right now, even if you go all the way down, but there have been times where the windows don't want to come back down, so you have to kind of pull them up from there. Power locks to lock, unlock. Driver's door, as you can see right here, works perfectly. And passenger's door, sometimes you have to hit it a few times for it to engage, but right now it actually seems to be working perfectly, so that's good. But it would occasionally not want to go down all the way, and you have to hit lock a few times to actually get it to lock. Okay, so power mirrors. I just turned it on to the driver's side one, and as you can see, that works. Now I'm going to rotate it to the passenger side one. As you see, that works as well. Okay, power seats. Move forward and backward without problem. Both of the tilt functions, they do work. Maybe I could capture it better like this. So I'm doing the top tilt function. Yeah, it's hard to see that the seat's actually moving, but it is. And then again, you got it moving backward and forward. You do have the original floor mats in the car all the way around. They're in pretty good shape, including the driver's one. It could probably be cleaned a little bit, but it is in very decent shape. So now we will quickly walk around to the other door. Okay. I accidentally ended my own video there, so now we're at the other door. Hopefully they can combine when I post them. So again, no rust of any kind. The weather stripping on this side is in pretty good shape. You do have a little tear right here, and it has hardened. So again, it's not perfect. It's pretty hard, but it's complete here. Little scratch right here. Okay, and this tilt adjuster on the power seat does not work. It does sometimes. I've had it work once, so this does not work. However, this top one does. So again, this tilt seat adjuster does. Up there it goes. It just okay. It's working now. So I would say it's intermittent. It could be just a bad contact. I'm just not sure. It works occasionally. Backwards and forwards does work. You got your window again working here. The locks, they do work, and they work on both sides. Okay, so now we will take a look at, let me move this sunscreen or visor out of the way. Now we'll take a look at the rest of the interior. I'll go back around to the driver's side. One more thing, the AC, it does work. So the AC controls are right here. Hit auto. AC turns on, it blows cold. It blows cold out of all vents when necessary, including the foot vents. However, when we turn the heat on, the heat seems to only come out of the dash vents and the foot vents. It seems to come out very lightly out of these vents. So I'm not sure if, again, what the possible issue is. It does heat up the car, but again, it's a little bit of it's a small issue in that the heat doesn't come out full blast out of these vents. So I will now turn off. The cruise control does work. I didn't do that on my test drive video, but it does work. The radio does work. The antenna does not go up and down.
Whatever. And as soon as I hear one, then...
Okay, so that's the radio, cassette player. Okay, front speakers, back speakers, right speakers, and left speakers. They all do work. The equalizer does work, so it allows you to adjust it. And this is the power button. Cassette pops up. Forward and rewind buttons, everything does work. Alright, so I will now turn off the car. It does have the Twilight Sentinel, which I know was kind of a big deal back then, but basically this is how much of a delay you want to see the lights stay on after you turn the car off. It also has automatic headlights, so even though you can turn them on and all the lights do work, they do turn on automatically. So for 1990, that was a big thing. You'll notice that the rear view mirror, I tried to attach it, it fell off, so at some point I will try to attach it, but it is in there. There's your glove box, everything is in good clean shape there. There's a little bit, I don't know, maybe it's a little bit of warping slash, it's not bad, it's not noticeable, but I think maybe it could be glued a little tighter over here. So it does kind of protrude forward. You see a little bit of that right there as well, not major. Okay. So you do have on this door sill, this is cracked straight through right here, so this piece would need to be replaced. It is perfect on the other side. And the other big issue with the car is the driver's side upholstery. You got a tear right here. I patched up the tear so it's not going to spread. However, I did not actually color it in. I do think that the interior, it is salvageable. Somebody that's good with leather will be able to go in, fill in the clean it up, fill in the cracks. Again, the only major rip was right there, and that's already filled. It just, again, needs to be obviously painted. You do continue to have torn leather right here. So the driver's seat is pretty heavily worn. You also have the cracking on the center console. I attempted, you can actually see there's a little bit of discoloration there. I started to try to fill in and color match. I filled in this area where there were some cracks, but the color is not perfect and neither is the texture. I never did this. I just decided I don't want to make it worse, even though you can't really make it worse. But anyways, so this would need to be reupholstered. You got your console here with the cassette holders. You got your cup holder that flips in like this, I believe, when you're not using it. So then you go like that, but otherwise it does have the cup holders. I did my best to clean this, the seats, but again, they're a little bit weathered. So now going to the other side. Okay, so on this side, again, there's a little bit of, it just needs another cleaning. It's been a little while since I had cleaned this, but there are no tears on the seat. There's a little piece right there. Video can't really see it. Okay, there we go. A little bit of a tear there. Same thing right there on the passenger seat. A little bit right there. All right, now going to the back. The back's in pretty good shape. I think it, again, could use a professional leather cleaning. There's a little bit of a scuff right there, so that's broken through the paint. Car is a 6-seater. It does have room for 3 in the back, 3 in the front. Now looking at the headliner, I don't know if this has been re-glued by someone at some point. It looks pretty clean, but there's a few like little wavy lines, and the headliner is starting to sag underneath the sun visor. So at some point the headliner will need to be redone, but the way that it's coming down right now, it's not a major issue because the sun visor does tend to hold it up. Looking back here, at some point someone tried to glue this piece back, and it seems like they didn't do a good job because there's glue right here, and it's kind of stuck in this place, so you can't really cover that up. Not very noticeable when you're up front, but again, just wanted to highlight that. On this side here, someone hasn't tried to glue it, and this piece is loose. So it could be glued, and it would actually look fine. There isn't too much going on there. There's a little bit of a stain. Maybe someone did try to glue this. You got your handles, seat belts come out right here. Seat belts all work. You got your seat belts back here. Everything works. Okay, and it looks like the light up top there, you see up on the ceiling, only the right one works. I noticed that the left one seems to work intermittently. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Right now, it is not. Looking back here, carpets are nice and clean, original. And same thing here. You got your magazine holder here. This one's a little bit stretched out, but it looks fine. And then this one's here. You got your cigarette lighters back here, or chargers. It does make it convenient for the people sitting in the back. Okay, so this one doesn't want to stay in, but it does work. Yeah, it's warm, so they do all work. that one is staying in. Okay, so that just popped out and I can feel it's warm, don't want to burn myself. Okay, and then up front you got the cigarette lighter here. The lighter is actually right there in the ashtray, and this does charge your phone. And I believe that is about it. If you have any further questions or if I missed anything, I'm going to try to combine the two videos into one. Hopefully that works. And if you have any questions, feel free to contact me. Thank you.